Good morning, everyone. My name is Toni, and I'm just going to share my story with you all. It was August 31st, 2019. I woke up in the emergency room at St. Mary's Hospital, not knowing why I was there, how I got there, or where my 4-year-old son Giovanni was. I was told that I overdosed 8 hours before in a restaurant and transported by ambulance. My last memory was sitting across from my son at a table getting ready to eat. It was my second near-fatal overdose in a week. When I realized my son had been taken from me, the bottom completely dropped out of my world. Everything I had been running away from, everything I had been ignoring, all the trauma and catastrophe that I had been avoiding fell on me like an avalanche. I was tortured by the thought that my son was gone. What he must have been thinking, who he was with, who was caring for him. Was he hurt? Did he think I abandoned him or was dead? I was filled with self-loathing and guilt, knowing I was a complete and utter failure as a mother to my beautiful, sweet baby boy. Child Protective Services informed me of the court date that followed. It would not be an exaggeration to say that in the handful of the days it followed, I temporarily lost my mind. This was not the first time in my life where my actions had disastrous results. As a teenager, I ran away from home with a man who manipulated me for years, subjected me to abuse and trafficking. When I reunited with my mother, she helped me to begin to rebuild my life. Things were looking up that year, and I began studying and working in nursing, but was while transferring a patient from bed to chair, I suffered a major back injury and was prescribed opioid painkillers. Addiction followed. Over the course of the next few years, I continued to receive and take increasing amounts of prescription pain medication until doctors wouldn't prescribe them anymore. That's when I discovered other ways that addicts get the pain medication they need. I spiraled into the hole where drugs became my focus. I lost everything. Healthy relationships with friends and family, my home, my car, my job, and eventually my son. At my first court date, I was faced with the ugly truth of my addiction and why my son was taken away. Who was I? Just another homeless woman addicted to drugs. I wanted to scream out, this isn't who I am, but it was. It was what I had become. I pled with the court-appointed attorney for help. I told him I would do anything to reunite with my son. Child Protective Services recommended services and treatment and the steps I had to prove myself as a worthy, fit, and sober mother. I was told there was every possibility that I would never get my son back. I kept asking over and over and over, but couldn't really get a straight answer. Thinking about it later, how could anyone give me an answer? I had proved nothing except I was a drug-addicted, unfit mother. I started calling around to all the treatment programs to accept women with children, although most had age limitations for the children. But then I was able to arrange an appointment at HealthRIGHT 360's Women's Hope. Women's Hope, they're here today. This is a residential drug treatment program for women with children of any age to live together. This was the turning point in our lives. The program's name, Women's Hope, is appropriate because they gave me hope, true hope. Without all the services they offer, I would have never gotten my son back or reconciled with my own mother. They helped me feel that there was a chance that if I worked hard, I could regain custody. and reclaim my dignity, my life. I did absolutely everything they told me to do. I engaged in all the services, all therapies, and beyond. They listened, they taught me, they challenged me, they understood, they advocated for me, they helped me and learn how to live again as a proud woman and mother in recovery. My first visits with GEO were supervised at a social services site. As I continued to do better and get better, GEO and I were able to spend the day together at Women's Hope. Then later, he was staying with me for overnight visits. Still, there were many difficulties along the way that I had to learn to deal with. So many times I wanted to give up, but thanks to the support I kept receiving, I kept pushing forward. I took advantage of it for everything Women's Hope offered, and even started support groups for myself for newer women in the program. During this healing time, I reconciled with my mother, and she came every week, even when she couldn't really visit with me or hug Gio. And due to COVID restrictions, that would have never happened without the program and the healing of these relationships. Here is a date I will always remember. On June 11th, 2020, at my hearing in San Francisco Family Court, my hard work was acknowledged and custody of Giovanni was granted back to me. When I got him back, he was so angry. He had been through so much. He was traumatized. That's when the next step of our healing process began. I was connected with all the appropriate resources to help support my son and me. I learned about dialectical behavior therapy, mindfulness, and an absolute wealth of classes that I was offered, all of which I took advantage of. I learned about relapse prevention and created a relapse prevention plan of my own and a strong support network. I began to understand what I needed to watch out for and how to deal with things as they came up. What I needed to do on difficult days, who to turn to, and what to do when old triggers and feelings came up. Women's Hope provided a safe and loving environment for me and my son to heal and grow. After a year, I completed the Women's Hope Residential Treatment Program, followed by a step-down program, transitional housing. After intensive residential treatment, the great thing about HealthRIGHT 360 is that every graduate is always welcome to come back and visit. The doors are always open. This is invaluable as a part of the ongoing support system. Particularly if you need someone to talk to, I know I can go there, along with all the other resources and people that are a part of my relapse prevention plan. My life is safely moving forward. We still take part in activities there as well. I look at it as a sanctuary. I'd like you to meet someone. Giovanni is here with me today. Gio and me standing right here, a result of this program. You know, I have heard it says it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a lot of people, a lot of resources, but the end result is priceless. Because of HealthRIGHT 360's Women's Hope program, my son and I were given a second chance at leading a happy, healthy life together with stability and security. Today, we now have a lovely little 2-bedroom apartment in San Francisco. My son, he's an amazing boy and a bright student with a bright future. I am also working as well as pursuing a drug and alcohol counselor certificate. I would love to give give back to the communities that gave so much to me. I have an internship interview with a community health care director next week for a 16-month paid internship. So I hope that goes well. My mother Maggie is here today too. Thanks to the program and the resources of Women's Hope, I am able to be the mother Gia deserves to have. Have an honest and loving relationship with my own mother, and live a life with hope, dignity, love, and family. HealthRIGht 360 helped me feel like I was a human being with value again. And he helped this little guy right next to me learn how to trust me again. Thank you, HealthRIGht 360, Women's Hope, and thank you to all of you here this morning who are part of our village, who helped our family to heal.